I'm back with another video, and I'm going to throw the question out there. Can a woman be president of the United States of America? I'm seeing debates already about will they allow a woman to be president? Uh, is a woman capable from an emotional standpoint? Uh, we've only seen men up to this point be president of the United States. And so now we have Kamala Harris, who's been endorsed by Joe Biden to be the next president. Not sure who she's going to choose as her running mate for vice president. So that's something uh, that has to be carefully picked as well. And, now you have the article like this one trying to make the case for a woman being the first leader of the country and if she's actually fully capable. Now, I would say just from an intelligence standpoint, I'm sure a woman is fully capable of being the president, meeting with other world leaders, making decisions on policies, different laws, and anything that comes up. So I don't think a woman should just be disqualified because she is a woman from trying to run to be the president. I'm hearing other people talk saying they won't let a woman run this country. The men who are in control, it never has happened, and that it's always still going to be a man running as the president, uh, no matter what anyone says or thinks. I personally still think that Donald will beat her. She has every right to run. She tried to run before, and Joe Biden got the nomination over her. Now he's nominating her 4 years later. And it's going to be interesting to watch to see where this goes. She should be speaking at the Democratic National Convention in Chicago next month in August. And so it'll be interesting to see uh, what she says there. I know her sorority, Alpha, uh, the AKAs, Alpha Kappa Alpha, they will definitely be in her corner in terms of support. So I think that'll be big as well in terms of her trying to get the White House seat. But it's definitely going to be, a difficult ride, especially with her having just being given the nomination 2 days ago, yesterday, and so on July 21st. So you're trying to build up using all of August, all of September, and all of October, and then voting, which I believe is November 6th or November 7th, to try and get the country to side with you. So then, that's a lot of work to do in such a short time period. And then I've heard different rumors about Kamala Harris not necessarily being the most popular person, and so some are saying that might hurt her in terms of actually being able to beat Trump. And I guess technically, with Biden stepping down and the way it works, the vice president then becomes president. She technically is the president right now, you know, even though they're not saying it. I mean, if that's the case, then you just have two people running for president instead of normally where it's the president and then the person trying to actually beat the president. Unless, of course, a president in this case, they just don't run for re-election. And so then you just got two people who are not the president trying to run. That's pretty much the case with Joe now. He's no longer running for re-election, but the vice president normally will get in that spot, and then we'll also see if the Democrats actually nominate her to be the president in terms of what they feel they can put together to keep control of the White House in November. But I mean, she has the track record. She's been a senator. She's also been did work in California. She started in politics over there. And so she definitely has the experience now as the vice president. So that can't be denied. Trump ran with no political experience and he won in 2016. So she definitely has more experience than Trump does. So we can't use that argument about experience, no experience. She's the more experienced candidate between the two of them. So that's something, to look into. And I mean, she definitely has, the knowledge to be president and to actually campaign and to run. There's really nothing, no boxes you can check off that say a woman can be the president of the United States. It's just been a subject that a lot of people have just felt that it'll never be, just because of the country being dominated by men. And so because of that, there's no way that you let a female get that type of power. And so you can also make a lot of arguments of bringing in sexism there, in terms of, well, a woman can't do it. In terms of running the USA, it has to be a man. Things like that. I think this will spark a lot of conversation and probably a lot of arguments between men and women on who's fit to lead the United States. So that's definitely something to look at. She was the Attorney General of California, so that goes more to her experience before she became a senator. And so she studied at Howard University, so she's well educated. And I would never put that out there in terms of a woman can't be in any type of political office just because she's a woman. I believe a woman is fully capable of being the president. Definitely will be history if she were to somehow pull this off in November. So that's something that can't be denied. And technically, she's already making history since he stepped down, and she would be the sitting president for the next few months. From that point. And so I don't know what a lot of other people's thoughts on it are in terms of if she can pull this off, if she's even the right fit. Maybe there should be another woman who may have a better chance. I haven't gotten a chance to look at the polls or where she sits in comparison to Donald in terms of uh, who would win if they were voting today. And it's big. Doing a little bit reading of the article here. It says, in light of President Biden removing himself as the candidate and endorsing Kamala Harris, and so 235 years of the United States being in existence, only men have served as the president. And now this article from Forbes is saying this is the perfect time to elect a woman to be in this role, which is very important, as she'll be meeting with so many other world leaders, as I said before. And so here's a research from 2023. Most people believe a woman president will be better or equal to a man at working out compromises, between the two parties, and then just with other world leaders. Respectful tone in politics and not raising her voice, being honest and ethical, standing up for what she believes in, despite being pressured, and then working well under pressure. So these are the arguments this research has made for a woman being president. Pretty good arguments, and the people who voted, were heavily favored a woman to be president just a year ago. But that's just a Pew Research study. Pew is very reliable, but we have to see what the polls say. You know, I mean, just talking about a woman in general, I think the Pew Research study and the results that they got, I think is correct. I'm not disputing any of it in terms of a woman's tone if she were to get in there. And then, okay, here's a quote from Melinda Gates. While no one will claim that women are a monolith who support any one party or agenda, there's evidence that women govern differently in terms of how they run things. They work more collaboratively across party lines and introducing legislation on issues that have historically gone unaddressed. Okay, so that's Melinda Gates making a case for a woman to be in position of power. And so I don't know how everyone else may feel about that in terms of if a woman can handle it the way they're saying she can. Obviously we've only seen men up to this point, and you've had certain presidents that people feel are better than Donald and Joe in the history of the United States. And she's already made history as well as being first woman vice president. And so now here we go, next step of can she be president? So it's definitely interesting times where this is going to go. Yeah, I think she is still going to get a lot of support. I think a lot of women will support her. I was talking to a lady who's not even registered to vote right now. She's 35, and she said she's actually going to register. She asked me, was it too late to register? And she's voting for Kamala and says we should support her. So, obviously we have to hear, what she's running on, her policies. Are they similar to Joe Biden's? What is she going to do? And I'm sure she'll address all of that. And can't just be voting for it just because she is a woman. You don't want to do that. You want to hear the facts, and how it affects your life and others around you. But I actually think a woman can be president of the United States or any other country. You know, if she runs and then she wins, I think a woman is capable of, just looking at all of the issues that need to be addressed and, going to meetings and get things done. We should not be just crossing a woman off who wants to be the president, even though it's been male dominated. That wouldn't be right. That would be sexist. Men wouldn't like it being done to them. So this is going to be a very interesting race. Probably the most interesting political race of the last 24 years, going back to Bush Jr. and then Barack, Donald, and Joe, and now here we are in 2024. It's definitely we've not seen a president step down in a while. In the last 24 years, no president has stepped down. They did their 2 terms. Bush Jr., Barack did. Neither one ever stepped down. Donald Trump did not step down. Joe is the first one to step down and endorse someone else. So many things going into play here with this and how it's everything's going to turn out. Everyone's waiting, trying to see which direction this is going to go. I was definitely surprised when I heard that Joe was stepping down. I know after he was having issues, all up to this point with they said his health might be in danger and other things of that nature. But he was very defiant in terms of, saying he can do the job. So I'm not even sure what even pushed him all the way into that direction. If it was a mutual decision to step down, I don't really know how that all went. It wasn't something that I thought Joe would actually do. So, definitely breaking news. This is going to be an interesting next couple of months, seeing how this plays out. If Kamala even gets the nomination, I don't even know who Democrats really have in their back pocket that they can actually put out there right now, and who they'd have to actually get some type of a fan base behind to win in November to keep the White House. I mean, she may be their best bet overall to try and beat Donald. I still think, like I said, Donald will be able to pull it out, and just because whatever policies that weren't liked with Joe, they may feel, well, she's the vice president and she'll be too similar to what Joe was doing, and they don't want to necessarily want a repeat of that. People also are tired of the inflation. People also have an issue with the migrants that have been let over here, and so they're hoping maybe a switch of who the president is, different party, will fix some of those issues. And so people are just looking for something different for a change. That could hurt Kamala Harris in terms of, okay, you're representing a party that all of this is happening under, and a Republican getting in just may uh, change things and switch the tide. And I can't blame people. People are frustrated and just really want the country to improve, rebound, go in a different direction. And people feel taxes are too high as well. I've talked to people who said they made more money as small business owners when Donald was still the president, and they've lost money with Joe Biden being in there. So everyone's had their own individual experiences under a Republican president and now with Joe. And so they may just be looking to switch back to that, and they feel it'll improve their pockets as well, get their money back up. And I can't be mad at them for that. So it's definitely what a time to be alive, and where this is going to play out is, get your popcorn. It's like a whole stage. We're all actors. Make sure you get out there and vote if you want. I don't know how anybody listening to this feels about Donald or Kamala Harris, uh, or if you want to write someone in. And then also, your local elections, if you those more directly affect you, go out there and make sure you vote for people in your city, uh, you know, whatever gender they may be. Because, women obviously have political offices, but this presidential office is the one that has eluded women for the forever. It's the one office a woman has not been elected to. So we'll see what happens. It's going to be an interesting rest of the year. Uh, Let me know what you all think in the comments about Kamala Harris and Donald Trump, and where this is going to end up. Uh, who would you vote for? Are you voting? Let me know in the comments. Like, share, and subscribe as usual. And I will be back with another one. I'm out.